More than 24 hours after the Labour Party's national treasurer accused the party and its chairman of fraud, the leadership of the Labour Party has released its 2023 presidential campaign expenditure. The party says, contrary to reports online, it only received 595 million naira from the supporters in the 2023 general elections. Will Arise correspondent Chinaza Samuel has more on this report.
Almost a year after the 2023 general elections, the Labour Party is reeling out its expenses and how funds received were disbursed in line with best campaign practice and spirit of accountability. The party's presidential flag bearer and other officials say, contrary to reports suggesting it received billions of naira in free will donations for the elections, it only received a total of 596 million naira from supporters and 800 million naira from the candidate.
When I'm involved with anywhere money is, it must be transparently all the funds received directly or indirectly from that. It's not up to it's about not up to 1% of what is mentioned. People are claiming we received about $150 million. And I state here, we haven't seen 1%. And I stand for anybody to dispute or prove that.
A breakdown of funds, according to the party, indicates that 268 million naira was expended on campaign materials, 16 million naira on radio broadcast, 10 million naira for election promotion, 324 million naira for polling unit agents, 1.7 on bank charges, 476 million on administration, 744 million on legal expenses, while 28 million was deployed to other campaign and election activities.
We provided direct and indirect support to over 100 support groups across all 36 states in Nigeria. Also mobilized and supported over 100,000 grassroots organizers across the 36 states.
The officials assure party supporters who contributed that their funds were meticulously utilized with approvals from the party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi.
Whatever decision we took in terms of disbursing funds, we are made with the full acknowledgement of His Excellency and also signatories to the account. So no funds left the account without the approval of His Excellency.
On the recent accusations of fraud and abuse of office against the party's national chairman, Peter Obi calls for thorough investigations.
What we need to do in the party, and I discuss it with the leadership, is that we must now appoint a reputable audit firm to audit and be able to deal with the accounting of the party. So there's the allegation and counter-allegation now that must be thoroughly investigated and verified. And we'll reconcile it and know exactly what we're doing.
For the Labour Party, Nigeria cannot have clean leadership if politicians continue to hide their campaign spending. The spotlight is now on the ruling All Progressives Congress, the People's Democratic Party, and other political parties to present their expenses. Chinaza Samuel, Arise News.
Well, let's deepen the discussion as Maria Labeke, former acting national chairman of the Labour Party, joins us now from our Abuja studios. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you.
So what are your thoughts on the internal crisis currently rocking the Labour Party?
When I heard the treasurer and the national chairman talking about forgery of a check, then I decided to come here and clear myself on the issues.
Well,
I was nominated, appointed to be the acting national chairman after the demise of Salam. So from then on, my name was not affected on the check because of the problem I had with my ID cards. all the issue of my name, the check of 7th February till March 18th, thereabout, they were talking about. I didn't know anything about the forged of a check by Abure to withdraw money from the account. I was just waiting until when my name was clear, until my name was cleared. There was a meeting in Benin on the 29th of March, where I signed some checks for the meeting we had on that day for working committees and state chairman for that meeting. That was the only check aside. But between 7th February and that day of that check that was forged, I didn't know anything about it. So I was surprised that he mentioned my name, that two of us signed those checks. I'm not surprised because the chairman, has been forging signature. Like when he removed him from the office, he asked me to come and sign sign off of from the bank, which I did not do. He forged my signature to remove me from that bank account and put his name as the chairman. I was appointed as the acting national chairman after the demise of SLM, and I acted for only 3 months. And before then, I attended 2 meetings as the chairman of the party. One was a meeting that was slated for all the 18 political parties chairmen and national secretaries of all the parties.
Well, Ms. Labeke,
I was appointed.
Ms. Labeke, please allow me to interrupt you and pick up on something you said earlier about the forged checks.
Okay.
We just want to clarify that you are saying you had no knowledge of these checks being signed that are in question, and you are surprised that your name has come up. Is that what you're saying? You did not know these checks were signed?
Those checks that was forged by chairman, I didn't know about it.
When did you come to know about them?
I didn't know when he forged those checks.
When were you, when?
I heard it through the television. I had the meeting when he mentioned my name and the treasurer mentioned the forged check.
No, allow me to come in here. You know, you said something about being surprised, you know, because that is a usual habit of his, from forging checks. And I'm wondering if you have evidence, because Julius Abure was on the morning show yesterday, and he came, you know, with a number of checks and documents to back up his claim, you know, that he has not defrauded the party in any way. But here you are on national TV saying that he has been forging checks. Do you have evidence to back up your claim?
So I didn't know. The treasurer accused him of forging checks, which I didn't know about, because I was just a new in that office. Before because my signature was not changed immediately I entered in that office, until when from 7th February to March, I was not a signatory until when my signature was perfected. Then I became a signature. But as a signatory to the account. But as at that time, when the check was forged, I did not know about it. On the 29th of March, or the 28th of March, the meeting was for INEC meeting, when Julius Abure said that I should step down as acting national chairman so that he would take over. Then I rejected it. Until on the meeting of that day, on the 29th, he stood up on the meeting. He collected the microphone from me to preside over the meeting. Then I dragged the mic from him. There was a tussle between me and him on the microphone until he later allowed me to address the neck. After talking, he talked. Then from there, somebody arose from the audience and said, the best thing is to remove me as acting chairman and he should take over. Then I was dragged out of my seat as a chairman and he came up. So after that, he brought some documents because he told me that the reason why he was putting that meeting in Edo, his home state, is because he has monopoly of talks, that he will gather as many talks as possible so that they could help me to protect my interests in case if anybody objected to my position. So there and then, immediately after the meeting, they removed me, pushed me out. I was intimidated, pushed out of my seat, and he came and sat on that seat. And from there, he opened his portfolio, brought so many documents. I was surrounded by so many talks in that meeting. I was forced on duress to sign many documents which I could not be able to proofread at that moment. After that day, when I left for my state, then he used another. There was a Sienna silver car pursuing me after that meeting, as I following him bomber to bomber along Abuja, Abuja Road. So until when I reached one police station, I stopped and alerted the police. So when they came, the police stopped them and they had to go back. On the following day, I was called to come and change my signature as a signatory of the accounts, which I rejected. But he forged my signature because there's no way he could have changed say signature, affected his own signature without my person signing out of that account. He also forged a signature, a letter and a signature to INEC to tell them that I have resigned as national chairman of the party, which I did not do. All those things I did not do. Because when I attended the meeting on February, after the approval of my appointment, I attended a meeting in INEC conference room, where the INEC chairman introduced me, and all of us stood up and observed a minute's silence for the late chairman. As at that time, Julius Abure, who was elected as national secretary of the party, was with national secretary of all the 18 political parties on their own side, while I was with all the 18 political chairmen, national chairmen in my own side. Then I entered another meeting at the Ritz Hotel in collaboration with NIPS and INEC, where the meeting was slated for all the national secretaries and national chairmen. So he was a national secretary and I was the chairman until that 29th of March, where he planned and intimidated and took over the office. And that, in my party, the constitution cannot use a NEC meeting. The meeting was for NEC meeting, where all the chairmen, secretaries of all the states were invited, including Abuja and National Working Committee. There he planned and removing him from the office. So I am here, and since then, I just kept quiet and leave everything to God. I did not talk, and I just kept quiet until when this issue of forgery and that they mentioned my name, that those checks, the checks he forged, I did not know about it. I only signed check for the meeting which we held on 29th March.
Well, Ms. Labeke, these allegations that you have shared with us are quite deep and astounding. When you were going through such a process, as it must have caused you a lot of turmoil, did you report this to anybody, to the National Working Committee of your party, or some of the higher chieftains within the Labour Party. Did you share this with any of them?
Yes. Immediately we came back from that meeting, he formed a disciplinary committee that they expel me from the party, because I didn't go on the invitation. The next thing is that he said that they should expel me from the office. Immediately I came back from that meeting, I went to NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress, who registered that party. That party was registered on 2002. All the people that formed that party were from different unions. I came from Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees. I retired as a director in that office. And I was one of the founding members of that party. I was the first national treasurer for many years. So when I reported to them, they took it up and wrote a letter to INEC to condemn that particular meeting that brought Julius Abure and Farouk as national chairman and secretary. So I reported.
Now, the national chairman of the Labour Party, that's Abure, he has dismissed all the allegations leveled against him, by the treasurer as baseless. And he believes that the national treasurer, who has now been suspended, is under some external influence, with some analysts suspecting that this might be a ploy, by the other faction of the party to take control of the Labour Party. I would just like your thoughts on this. Could this be something that the other faction or an external party is cooking up just to destabilize your party?
So I don't know of that because I'm just on my own. I don't belong to either of the party because I'm just on my own. I just said, let God take control because I was intimidated, harassed, and pushed out of my office. Even as at now I'm talking to you, immediately after that meeting, he broke my office. I'm still having the key of that old office where he removed me. He scattered my personal belongings and some cash in my office and all my documents. I never went back to that office until today I'm talking to you.
Well, we have a short clip of... we have a short clip of your party member Julius Abure on our morning show, and it's the chairman of the Labour Party on the morning show. Let's take a look at him reacting to some of these allegations.
All those money withdrawn between January 2021 and March were all withdrawn, and we co-signed with the acting chairman of the party, Maria Labeke. I was the national secretary of the party at the time, and there was no way I could have withdrawn money from the account, or any person could have withdrawn money from the account without the A signatory. We were able to withdraw because we effected all the changes in the signatory. We brought in the new acting national chairman, Maria Labeke, who co-signed all the checks with us. She equally, Oluchi Opara, was one of those who also signed some of those checks.
So, Ms. Labeke, is this true?
The check he was talking, the check that treasurer was talking is the check he forged to withdraw money from the party. He forged, so according to him, she is the custodian of the accounts of the party. She said he forged signature to withdraw money from the account. That's what she is accusing him of.
Okay, now thank you very much.
So the best thing is...
Go ahead, please.
The best thing is to go to the bank, to go to the bank to check that check that he forged to withdraw that money from the bank. That is the bone of contention. The check he forged to withdraw money after the death of the A.A. Salam, our former national chairman.
Welcome back to Newsday. We still have with us Maria Labeke. She's the former acting national chairman of Labour Party. Well, just before we let you go, my final question to you is this. We understand that a 5-man investigative committee has been raised to take a look at all these allegations against Julius Abure. And of course, we know that Peter Obi, your party's presidential candidate in the last election, has called for an independent audit, of campaign spending. So are you optimistic that we'll get to the bottom of this matter? We'll find out who is right, who is wrong, and who should be punished?
Yes, that's what they're supposed to do, instead of suspending the national treasurer, to find out whether this allegation, because she is in charge of all the money from the party. So he knows better than anybody. When I think that if the committee should do justice on that issue, then we will know who is right and who is wrong. That's the best thing to do, instead of suspending her. Let Nigeria hear her, whether she's right or wrong, or whether Abure is right or wrong. Whoever is wrong should be punished. Well, that is my own suggestion.
Well, we would like to thank you so much for joining us for this very insightful interview. This is the former acting national chairman of the Labour Party from December of 2020 to March of 2021, Maria Labeke. Thank you for joining us on Newsday.